Hello everybody, I'm going to tell you a little story. Well, it's not a story, it was reality, and it happened to my friend. It's hard to believe that we're civilised, to be honest. This is a really sad story, but so far this year there's been so many deaths, and my last husband died. My boyfriend died, Christian died, Monique's mum died, Wes from Facebook, who I'd been talking to, died, and then comes my friend. What it is Linda had a grandson, and they had been treating him for tonsillitis. And then about 3 months ago they turned tonsillitis into leukemia, whizzed him off to Oxford Hospital, gave him a massive treatment, very intensive chemotherapy. And I never saw my friend say anything positive. I think she knew, really. And today when I saw her, she said, I did. She never thought he was going to get better. But what it was is that he wasn't getting better. He was very lethargic. He'd lost weight. And on Saturday, I think it was, he was rushed into the intensive care ward because they realised that he had an infection, and after all that chemotherapy, this is just like your horror story. So he had lesions in his lungs, and to be honest, I thought, wow, how did he get there? Maybe they were because of, and then I thought about it. He'd had a lot of chemotherapy. Lesions are sort of affected skin, damaged skin. So what was that? That's the chemotherapy. Anyway, what it was is with this infection now, which no one seemed to spot even though they'd given him all that chemotherapy, this boy was put into an induced coma. Because obviously at the weekend I was waiting for my friend to come round, and she said, I can't because we're in the intensive care with my grandson. I messaged her the next day, but she didn't say anything, and I thought, well, he's gone into intensive care, so they don't put people in there that they think might die, so everything will be alright. And on Sunday, no, it was Monday, because I messaged her a few times and she didn't reply. She told me that he died. He was 13 years of age. 13. It's broken my heart. I didn't actually ever meet him because when I went to see my friend, we have lunches together and things. I just didn't meet him. But his pictures are all over my friend's house. He was the only grandchild. This is incredible. So I went to see my friend today because obviously I feel so bad for her. And what can you say? He was 13 years of age. Anyway, we were talking about something and then she explained something. She said they told them that what it was is he'd been in this induced coma, and then they were trying to wake him up, and they said that things could go wrong, and they did. So what happened was they realised that an artery had ruptured inside him, and they wanted to go in and clamp it somehow. God knows how. Would have to have been an emergency operation. But what happens is, because now he's bleeding quite badly, obviously internally, they start pumping blood into him. My friend said 15 bags of blood. And they had to watch it all coming out of his mouth. Everybody was covered in blood, and he died. He was 13 years of age. The only godsend is that he was in a coma, so he probably didn't know anything about it. Obviously, my friend is devastated. What is going on? And there seems to be a lot of leukemia cases around here. They're in the papers. I'm so sad for my friend. It's just an absolute nightmare. How can tonsillitis end up with his death? We think we're so civilized, but we're not. Chemotherapy doesn't work. I don't think it works. And I think because he had the chemotherapy and then he had the lesions from the chemotherapy, his body was so worn down. But he basically, he's 13 and an artery inside his body erupted and killed him. But I think it's the hospital's fault. My friend does too, because although they were giving him the chemotherapy, she wants to know who was really looking after him to notice that he had these infections or these lesions were causing things. But he was 13 years of age. Isn't that just so sad? Anyway, thanks for listening to this little video, and I wish my friend and her family much love. Oh, it's just so sad. Only grandchild. Anyway, thanks for listening.